Hey everyone, my name is Cameron.MPG and I'm going to talk about the use of profanity and its effects on the body. How many of you guys swear or use profanity when something bad happens, like you stub your toe at the edge of a wall or something? And how many of you guys feel better and more relieved after you said the word? This type of language is generally known as innocuous profanity. Innocuous profanity is defined as profanity such as swearing or foul language that isn't aimed at a particular person or group of individuals. It's different than cursing because cursing is intended to harm or offend the other person. In our society today, the use of expletive language, even if it's not aimed at a particular person, is generally looked down upon and in most cases prohibited. But what if I told you that this kind of language is actually healthy for you and helps you reduce stress and anger? Which brings me to my proposition that the use of innocuous profanity is beneficial for your body. I'm going to show you the legitimacy of my claim by proving 2 points. That innocuous profanity has the function of reducing stress and or anger present in the body, and 2, that the use of this type of language also helps you tolerate pain. Let's talk about my first point, that innocuous profanity has the function of reducing stress and or anger. When we are stressed out or angry, our body tries to balance out the elevated emotions by relieving our discomfort by letting off steam or expressing what we are experiencing. And when we were born, we naturally have the tendency to cry when we were in discomfort. However, since crying is typically discouraged during or after a certain age, we substitute it by using bad language to get the same results. Ashley Montague, a British-American anthropologist and humanist, states in his book, The Anatomy of Swearing, swearing and weeping have in common the function of acting as relief valves for sudden surges of energy, and also have in common the reestablishment of the psychophysical equilibrium of the organism. In America, or according to HowStuffWorks.com, in America, 72% of men and 58% of women swear. 74% of 18 to 34-year-olds swear, and 48% of 55 years old and above swear. The reason that this number is so high is because swearing helps us calm down, bring a balance to our mind, psychological and emotional state back to balance. Timothy J., a psychologist at Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts in North Adams, who has studied the role of this kind of language in linguistics, states, swear words are unique. They're really the link between the language system and the emotional system. Letting off steam through the use of innocuous language allows the body to express its discomfort rather than keeping it inside and letting all the stress and anger build up, which can cause long-term effects in the body such as depression, mood swings, anxiety, and many other health issues. And to sum up my first point, that the use of swearing can aid in the reduction of stress and anger in the body, I'll end it with a short quote from Mark Twain. He says, "When angry, count to 4. When very angry, swear." Now on to my second point, that the use of this type of language helps reduce pain that is present in the body. Richard Stevens, a psychologist at Keele University in England, designed an experiment the use of swearing and its effects on reducing pain. In his experiment, he gathered 67 students together and asked them to hold their hands in very cold water at about 5 degrees Celsius or about 41 degrees Fahrenheit and see how long they could last in the water. However, some students were told to repeat a foul word, while others were told to repeat a neutral word. At the end of the experiment, those who repeated an expletive word said they experienced less pain and were able to hold their hand in the cold water for an average of 40 seconds longer. Those who swore also showed an increase in heart rate greater than those who didn't. The reason those who swore experienced less pain is because the elevated heart rate triggers the fight or flight response in the body, which creates more adrenaline in the body, thus allowing the body to tolerate or ignore pain. Swearing is like a defense mechanism the body uses. We use it as a response to unexpected events that happen to us, and it helps us tolerate sudden pain that is present in the body. In conclusion, now that I showed you that 1, innocuous profanity has the function of reducing stress and or anger present in the body, and 2, it helps you tolerate pain, I hope that you agree with me that the use of expletive language, when appropriate, is beneficial for your body and does more good than bad. Now I'm not saying go around and use the F word in every single sentence, but like Steven Pinker said, a psychologist at Harvard University, I think people should not overuse profanity in their speech and writing, because it blunts swear words of their power when you do need them. You should just save them for the right occasions. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. The subject's interesting. I'm not exactly sure what the controversy is still. I do know that people tend to avoid swearing, but like you said, that is in the situations where it's not this innocuous use of swearing that is releasing the tension, but rather in other places, you know, like saying that was a MF great speech you just gave, buddy, you know, that kind of stuff, where that would be, you know, a different kind of use in that particular situation. The real controversy is, does anybody challenge the results that are being presented here? The thing that jumped in my head immediately when I was listening to this was whether or not any kind of interjection or expletive would be sufficient to achieve that advantage. And then later on, I think it was in the at the bottom of the first point, you do have one person who suggests that it's really is the swearing, that it's unique in particular to the way it works, and there's some kind of psychological effect. I said, okay, well that sounds very convincing in that situation. None of this seems to be strongly measured. The best example that you have is the illustration that you have on point number 2 with the experiment that was being conducted, where there is some way that you can kind of quantify it. I thought you did a good job presenting a lot of information, explaining the concepts here, and talking to the audience. Like I said, I'm not quite sure that there's a huge amount of controversy on the point still, and as a consequence, the argumentative nature of this is a little underwhelming, but the subject is, I think, fascinating.
Okay.